Welcome to the deep dive, where we take complex info and, well, try to make it clear and compelling. Imagine you're on one of life's biggest journeys, right? Pregnancy. Every single week brings these incredible changes.
Absolutely incredible.
And today we're diving deep into week 16 specifically. This is often a point where, expecting parents really start to feel that connection. Things start feeling a bit more real.
Definitely a milestone week in many ways.
Our main source for this dive is an expert-reviewed article from BabyCenter. It's called 16 Weeks Pregnant, Belly, Symptoms, and More. BabyCenter, as you probably know, is a pretty reputable platform, tons of reliable, doctor-approved info. So, good solid ground.
Yeah, they're generally very thorough and evidence-based.
Exactly. So our mission today, pull out the key nuggets from this guide. We want to help you really understand the big developments for the baby, for the expecting parent, and also cover those practical tips for, preparation and just getting comfortable.
Getting you informed quickly, but also appreciating the details.
Right. Knowing what's normal, what to maybe look out for. So as we
Right.
start unpacking week 16, what's the first thing that kind of jumps out at you?
Well, I think it's the sheer amount of foundational work that's happening, isn't it? The source describes the baby at 16 weeks as being about the size of an avocado.
An avocado. Okay, yeah. That immediately gives you a really tangible picture, something you can actually hold in your hand and imagine.
Exactly. It grounds the whole thing, makes it less abstract, more relatable. It helps visualize that tiny human really flourishing.
And when we say avocado size, we're talking numbers like about 7.3 inches at head to toe, maybe around 5 ounces or so.
That's about right. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
5.15 ounces according to the source.
Which, when you think back to just a few weeks prior, maybe like a little bean or something, that growth spurt is just astonishing.
It really is. It brings home how incredibly rapid this development phase is. It's not just slow, steady growth. It's like exponential change week over week.
Yeah.
And if you connect that to the bigger picture, this isn't just about getting bigger, It means the baby's moving into this really critical phase of refining systems, preparing for more complex stuff.
Right, like getting the internal machinery ready for life outside.
Precisely.
Huh.
Optimizing everything, scaling it up, getting ready for the huge demands post-birth. Every single system is being fine-tuned.
Okay, so let's really unpack this symphony of development, as you put it. Week 16. What's happening with the baby highlights that incredible speed. Our source gets into some fascinating specifics, like starting with the skin. It says it's delicate, translucent, almost transparent.
Yeah, it's quite amazing to think about. But this thinness, this translucence, it isn't just like an incomplete stage. It actually serves a purpose right now.
A purpose. Okay, tell me more.
Think about it. The baby's skin isn't ready to regulate temperature or be a strong barrier yet. So its thinness actually maximizes the surface area for diffusion.
Diffusion, like nutrients and oxygen.
Exactly. It allows for super efficient exchange of nutrients and oxygen directly from the mother's blood, kind of filtering through the amniotic fluids like a temporary, almost like a temporary gill system in a way.
Wow. So the body prioritizes immediate survival and growth over those future functions, like thick skin.
Right. It's setting the stage for the skin to thicken up later, develop those protective layers it'll need. But for now, thin is efficient.
It really makes you think about how sensitive the baby must be at this stage, even nestled inside. And then there's something incredibly permanent being laid down now. The scalp patterning.
Yes. This is such a cool detail. The source says hair follicles are forming a pattern on the scalp right now that will stay with them for their entire life.
For life, seriously.
Seriously. And apparently babies are born with all the hair follicles they'll ever have.
Yeah.
So the pattern forming now dictates, whether hair will be curly or straight, even where their natural part might be.
That's mind-blowing. So little features that define how someone looks are being set in stone right now.
It really emphasizes how permanent some of these early developmental steps are, like a genetic blueprint just being meticulously locked in. It's a reminder that even these subtle things are happening so early, shaping their individuality long before we ever meet them.
Incredible. Okay, speaking of foundations. The heart. This is just staggering. Our source says the baby's heart is pumping about 25 quarts of blood every single day.
25 quarts.
Yeah. And that amount is only going to increase. 25 quarts is like what? 6.25 gallons? For an organ that's maybe the size of a thumb at this point.
It's astounding, isn't it?
Yeah.
How can something so tiny manage that volume? It just highlights the incredible efficiency and the sheer speed of development in the circulatory system.
It really does.
The heart is the engine, right? And its capacity is just growing exponentially to keep up with the demands of this rapidly growing body. Think about the engineering marvel of it. It starts so early, this tiny pump, and just scales up its output so dramatically.
Working tirelessly already.
Absolutely. Nonstop, preparing for a lifetime of work. It truly boggles the mind when you stop and think about the mechanics.
Okay, and then we've got the brain and the nervous system developing too. The source mentions nerves from the taste buds connecting to the brain, and nerves allowing limbs to move in a more coordinated way.
Yes. So the baby isn't just having random twitches anymore. The movements are starting to become more, well, coordinated. Purposeful, perhaps.
Purposeful.
Well, maybe not consciously purposeful yet, but certainly more controlled. This is absolutely crucial for future sensory and motor skills. The brain's building its network, laying groundwork.
And the taste bud connections? What does that even mean at this stage?
It's fascinating. Considering they're surrounded by amniotic fluid, some theories suggest the baby might actually be tasting elements from the mother's diet already, maybe even developing some very early preferences based on what mom eats.
No way, really?
It's a theory, but it makes sense, right? The building blocks for taste perception are being laid down. And the coordinated limb movement, that's a huge leap. It points towards awareness, control, getting ready to explore the world eventually.
Like reaching for things or bringing hands to the mouth.
Exactly, those kinds of foundational movements.
Which neatly brings us to something many parents are eagerly waiting for, especially first-timers. Quickening. Those first little flutter.
Ah, yes, quickening.
The source says you'll probably start feeling the baby move sometime between week 16 and week 22, usually when you're sitting or lying quietly. And interestingly, moms who've been through it before often notice it earlier.
Right. Quickening is often described as really subtle, isn't it? Like little butterflies fluttering, or maybe like a tiny fish swimming around in there.
Butterflies. Yeah, I've heard that. Or like gas bubbles sometimes.
Exactly. It can be really easy to miss, especially at first. Maybe confuse it with digestion. And that timing difference between first-time and veteran moms is interesting.
Why do you think that is?
It's probably a mix of things. Moms who've felt it before might just recognize the sensation more easily. They know what they're looking for, you know? Or maybe it's just an increased awareness of their own body, a kind of sensitivity that comes with experience.
That makes sense, but for many, this is the moment it all clicks, right?
Oh, absolutely. For so many parents, feeling that first movement is when pregnancy shifts from being this abstract idea, maybe something you only see on an ultrasound, to a very real, tangible presence inside them.
It makes it feel so much more real.
It really does. It's often this incredibly powerful bonding moment, sometimes brings tears to their eyes, just the sheer wonder of feeling that little life move for the first time. It's like the first real communication, long before birth.
Such a special milestone. Okay, so while the baby's doing all these amazing things, let's shift focus to the expecting parent, because they're going through equally profound transformations, right?
Absolutely. It's a constant dynamic interplay. The baby grows, the parent's body adapts, every system is adjusting, and those adjustments can be, well, quite noticeable.
Yeah, and our source details several common symptoms around week 16. It's fascinating how these internal shifts manifest externally, and sometimes, like you said, they're actually quite positive changes.
Right, like the famous pregnancy glow that the source mentions.
Oh, yes, the glow. Is that actually real?
It really is. It's not a myth. It's thanks to those fluctuating hormone levels we keep mentioning, and also significantly increased blood flow. It often kicks in during the second trimester.
So what causes it exactly?
Well, think about the blood volume. It increases massively during pregnancy, maybe up to 50% more. All that extra blood brings more oxygen and nutrients right to the skin surface, making it look fuller, maybe more vibrant.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then hormones, especially estrogen and progesterone, can affect oil production in the skin glands, sometimes contributing to that healthy-looking sheen or radiance.
So it's a physiological thing?
Definitely. It's this kind of natural luminosity that often provides a nice little contrast to some of the less comfortable symptoms that might be cropping up. A bit of a silver lining.
A very welcome silver lining. Okay, but then there are the less comfortable, though very common, physical symptoms, like round ligament pain.
Ah, yes. That one can be quite sharp.
The source describes it as a sharp stabbing pain, maybe on one or both sides of the abdomen. It's caused by the ligaments that support the growing uterus thickening and stretching.
Exactly. Think of the uterus like a balloon inflating inside the pelvis. The round ligaments are like these cords running from the uterus down towards the groin, acting like supports.
Guy wires almost.
Kinda, yeah. And as the uterus gets bigger and heavier, these ligaments get pulled and stretched quite significantly. It's a big adjustment for them.
So that sharp pain is basically the ligaments protesting a bit.
Pretty much. Knowing the cause, that it's just stretching, can actually help ease some anxiety. It's usually temporary and eases with rest. But the source is right to say if it's severe, persistent, or comes with other symptoms, definitely call your doctor or midwife.
Good advice. It's just another sign of the body doing incredible work, making room.
Making room, exactly, sometimes with a little protest.
Okay, another common discomfort. Gas and bloating. Fun times.
What a choice.
Our source connects this directly to progesterone, that key pregnancy hormone. It relaxes muscles, including the ones in your digestive tract, which slows everything down.
Yeah, progesterone is crucial for preventing uterine contractions, right? But it doesn't just target the uterus, it relaxes smooth muscles everywhere.
So the digestive system gets sluggish too.
Exactly. Food moves through more slowly, which gives more time for gas to build up, leading to that lovely bloating and sometimes constipation too. It really shows how one hormonal change can ripple through different body systems.
So what can you do about it? The source has tips, right?
It does. Practical things, like eating smaller, more frequent meals instead of big ones so your system isn't overwhelmed, taking your time when you eat, chewing well,
Makes sense.
avoiding things that add more air like fizzy drinks, and maybe cutting back on artificial sweeteners like sorbitol, which can sometimes worsen gas for some people.
And moving around helps too, right?
Yeah, even just a quick walk can help get things moving along in the digestive tract. These are all immediate relief strategies that can make a real difference in comfort.
Good to know. Okay, moving on to another big one. Back pain. Super common, unfortunately.
Very common and often multifactorial.
Yeah, the source mentions a few reasons. The expanding uterus, weakening your abdominal muscles, putting strain on the lower back. Plus, hormonal changes, loosening joints and ligaments. It sounds like a recipe for aches.
It really is a perfect storm. Your center of gravity shifts forward as your belly grows, which naturally pulls your posture out of alignment and makes those lower back muscles work harder.
Right, you lean back to compensate.
Exactly. And at the same time, your abdominal muscles are stretched and less effective at providing core support. Then you add in the hormone relaxin.
Relaxin, aptly named.
Very. Its job is to loosen the ligaments, especially in your pelvis, to prepare for birth, which is vital, but it loosens ligaments everywhere, including your spine and other joints.
Making you feel a bit unstable.
Yeah, contributing to that feeling of instability and definitely adding to the back and joint pain. Your body's natural scaffolding gets a bit more flexible, which isn't always comfortable.
So what helps? The source mentions exercise.
Yes, proactive management is key. Gentle exercise can make a huge difference. Things like lightweight training to strengthen supporting muscles, prenatal yoga for flexibility and core strength, walking, swimming.
Swimming sounds good, being buoyant.
It's excellent. Takes the strain off the joints. Pelvic tilts are also great for relieving lower back pressure. And don't underestimate a good pregnancy massage, either professionally or just from a partner. It emphasizes being active and seeking support.
Great tips. Okay, what about breast changes? The source lists quite a few things here.
Soreness, tenderness, those veins becoming more obvious.
Right, prominent veins, pigment changes around the nipple and areola, those little bumps on the areola getting more pronounced.
Those are called Montgomery glands or tubercles.
Okay. And the source also mentions lumps, like milk-filled cysts or benign tumors, saying they're usually harmless, but definitely get anything hard or concerning checked out.
Absolutely. All these changes are the body gearing up for lactation, driven by that surge in hormones like estrogen and progesterone. The prominent veins show the increased blood flow needed. The pigment changes in the Montgomery glands, which produce a lubricating substance, are all part of preparing the nipple and areola for breastfeeding.
It's incredible foresight from the body.
It really is. And discussing lumps is important. Most are benign, related to these hormonal changes like blocked ducts or simple cysts. But it's crucial to know the difference and always get anything unusual checked by your provider. Vigilance without unnecessary alarm.
Good balance. Okay, let's shift from the purely physical. What about pregnancy brain, that feeling of forgetfulness?
Ah, yes. The infamous pregnancy brain. So many moms to be report feeling absent-minded or having trouble focusing.
Is it a real documented thing?
Well, the source says researchers aren't exactly sure why it happens. The experience is definitely widespread, but the exact cause is tricky to pin down. It's likely a mix of things. Stress, anxiety, definitely fatigue, and sleep deprivation play a role. And hormonal shifts might also temporarily affect cognitive function.
So it's not just in your head, even if science hasn't fully explained it yet.
Exactly. It validates the experience for so many. And the good news is, There are ways to cope. The source suggests simplifying things where you can, maybe delegating tasks.
Asking for help.
Yes, don't be afraid to ask for help. And really lean on tools like phone calendars, reminders, lists, note-taking apps, whatever helps you stay organized and reduces that feeling of frustration.
Practical strategies.
Uh-huh.
Good. And finally, under symptoms, pregnancy headaches.
Another common one, and often caused by things that make sense, right? Stress, maybe not drinking enough water, lack of sleep, cutting back on caffeine if you were a heavy coffee drinker.
All very relatable triggers.
Totally. But the source adds a really important warning here. Severe or sudden headaches, especially later in the second or third trimester, could be a sign of preeclampsia.
Right, which is serious. High blood pressure during pregnancy.
Exactly. So while most headaches are probably benign and can be managed with rest, hydration, maybe acetaminophen if your provider approves it, you absolutely need to call your doctor or midwife for any severe, persistent, or first-time bad headaches.
Don't just brush it off.
Definitely not. It highlights that crucial need to distinguish between typical discomforts and potential warning signs. Open communication with your provider is key. Be vigilant.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of what's happening to the baby and the expecting parent. With all these changes, it makes sense to ask, okay, so what should I actually be doing right now?
Exactly. And our source provides a really helpful checklist for week 16, moving from just understanding the changes to taking practical, actionable steps, empowering parents with information.
Yeah, that's great. So first on the list is investigating second trimester prenatal tests. Right. Around this time, 16 to 18 weeks, you might be offered something called an alpha-fetal protein test, or AFP.
AFP, what's that screening for?
It's a blood test that screens primarily for neural tube defects, like spina bifida conditions affecting the baby's spine and brain development.
Okay. And how accurate is it?
Well, the source notes it's not as accurate as the big anatomy ultrasound you'll likely have in a few weeks. The AFP is a screening test. So if it comes back positive, it doesn't mean there's definitely a problem, but it means you'll likely be referred for a more detailed, comprehensive ultrasound with a specialist to get a clearer picture.
Got it. Screening, not diagnostic.
Precisely. It's about gathering information and guiding next steps if needed. The source also mentions a quad screen, which can screen for Down syndrome if you didn't have first trimester screening, or NIPT.
NIPT being the non-invasive prenatal testing, the blood test looking at fetal DNA.
That's the one. So there are different layers of screening available, offering a more comprehensive view of fetal health as the pregnancy progresses. It's about being informed, not alarmed.
Makes sense. Okay, next on the checklist, avoiding unsafe activities. This seems pretty important as the belly grows.
Absolutely critical. The main concern here is activities with a high risk of falling or worse, direct trauma to your abdomen.
Right, and the source gives clear examples, doesn't it?
It does. Things like scuba diving pressure changes are an issue there. Contact sports, obviously risky. Snowboarding, downhill skiing, riding four-wheelers, horseback riding all carry a significant fall risk, even some intense amusement park rides.
Why is falling or abdominal trauma so risky now?
Well, your balance is changing as your center of gravity shifts, making falls more likely anyway. But a direct blow to the abdomen, even from what seems like a minor fall, could potentially harm the baby or cause serious complications like placental abruption, where the placenta separates from the uterine wall.
Okay, that's serious. So it's about protecting that growing belly.
Exactly. Prioritizing safety. It means making informed choices and maybe temporarily adjusting your lifestyle for the well-being of both you and the baby.
Good advice. The checklist also suggests tracking your weight gain.
Mm-hmm. Your doctor or midwife will definitely be monitoring this at your appointments. They want to see that you're gaining weight within a healthy range for your pre-pregnancy BMI and at a steady pace.
It's not just about the number on the scale, right?
Not at all. Healthy weight gain is crucial for providing enough nutrients for the baby's growth, giving your body the energy it needs, and actually helping to prevent complications like gestational diabetes or high blood pressure. Gaining too much or too little can both pose risks.
So it's a health indicator.
A very important one. The source mentions using pregnancy weight gain calculators too, which can be helpful. But always discuss your individual target range with your provider. It's a key part of prenatal care.
Okay. Now for a potentially more fun checklist item, starting a baby names list.
Ah, yes. A significant but hopefully enjoyable task.
The source suggests a collaborative approach, which I like. Make a list of 10 names you like, have your partner do the same, then swap lists and start crossing off the ones you really don't like until you find some common ground.
It's a great method. Naming a baby is one of the first big joint decisions, and it can sometimes get surprisingly tricky.
I bet.
This approach encourages that communication and compromise that are so vital for co-parenting, starting even now. It turns it into a shared experience, hopefully a fun one.
Like pre-parenting team building.
Exactly. Making sure both partners feel heard and invested in choosing their child's name builds that excitement too.
Love it. And the final checklist item is really heartwarming. Talk to your baby.
Yes. The source emphasizes this as a great way to start bonding.
Even if it feels a bit weird talking to your belly?
Especially then. If full conversations feel odd, just narrate what you're doing as you go about your day. Read a book aloud, maybe your favorite childhood story, or just quietly share your hopes and dreams for them.
That's sweet. The source also suggests writing a letter.
Yeah, writing a letter to your baby. It's a lovely way to connect emotionally right now, and it becomes this incredibly special keepsake for the child to read when they're older.
Oh, that's a beautiful idea.
It really taps into the emotional and psychological side of pregnancy. Bonding starts now. And think about it. Studies show babies can recognize voices they heard often in the womb, especially their mothers.
Really? So they are listening.
Seems like it. So talking, singing, reading it all helps build that connection, lays foundations for attachment even before they arrive. It's an investment in that future relationship.
Wow. Okay, so week 16 is clearly packed with changes and things to think about. The source also stresses showing your body some extra love and support during this time. Right.
Absolutely. It's not just about managing symptoms, it's about actively nurturing yourself. Knowledge is great, but applying it through practical self-care is where the real benefit lies. Supporting your changing body is crucial for comfort, energy, overall well-being.
So what kind of support are we talking about? The source mentions maternity support garments.
Yes, like belly bands or support belts. These can be really helpful if you're experiencing pain in your hips, groin often related to that round ligament stretching or lower back pain.
How do they help?
They basically provide external support, kind of like an extra set of muscles, helping to lift and support the weight of the growing uterus, taking pressure off your ligaments and back. For some people, they make a huge difference in daily comfort, allowing them to stay active.
So a targeted solution for those specific aches.
Exactly. Worth looking into if you're struggling with that kind of discomfort.
Good tip. And then apparel upgrades seem pretty essential too.
Oh, definitely. Comfort becomes key. The source advises upgrading bras and underwear. Things that fit well and offer good support are non-negotiable now.
And shoes. Investing in good supportive flats or other comfortable shoes.
Yes, and the source gives that great heads up. Your feet might swell, especially later on, and sometimes they can even permanently increase in size due to hormones like relaxant loosening ligaments there too.
Permanently.
It happens. So considering buying shoes maybe a half or whole size bigger isn't a bad idea. Supportive footwear is crucial for dealing with the extra weight and shifting posture. It's not just vanity, it's about preventing pain.
Makes sense. Support from the ground up. What about sleep? Getting comfortable in bed gets harder.
It really does, especially as sleeping on your back becomes less recommended due to pressure on blood vessels. This is where the source suggests a pregnancy pillow.
Ah, those big C-shaped or U-shaped pillows.
Exactly. They can be a total game changer for sleep. They're designed specifically to support your back and belly simultaneously when you're sleeping on your side, helping to keep your hips aligned, and just making it much easier to find a comfortable position.
So they can drastically improve sleep quality.
For many people, absolutely. And quality sleep is so important during pregnancy for energy, mood, everything. Definitely worth considering if you're tossing and turning.
Good to know. And finally, the source encourages treating yourself. Safely, of course.
Yes. This is so important for mental well-being. Things like getting a prenatal massage, making sure the therapist is certified in prenatal techniques, or having a facial, manicure, or pedicure.
Are those generally safe?
Generally, yes, with basic precautions, like ensuring good ventilation during manicures, pedicures to avoid strong fumes, and making sure massage therapists know how to position you safely and avoid certain pressure points. But taking time for these things can be a great stress reliever and mood booster.
It reinforces that pregnancy is something to be supported and cherished, not just endured.
Exactly. Taking care of yourself is taking care of your baby. A relaxed, happy parent creates a better prenatal environment. It's all connected.
What an incredible journey we've traced through just this 1 week, week 16. From the baby's heart pumping gallons of blood and getting lifelong hair patterns, to the parent experiencing glows and aches and that checklist of practical steps. It's such a dynamic time.
It truly is. And there's always more nuance, more to learn. But this deep dive really highlights how intricately connected everything is: the baby's development, the parent's physical and emotional experience. It's this amazing biological dance.
Yeah, and hopefully we've helped pull out those aha moments, the insights that make it all click, seeing how just 1 week holds so much change and preparation.
Which leads to maybe a final thought for you, our listener. When you pause and really look closely at the incredible details of just 1 week like this, what new appreciation emerges for this whole process? How might these specific insights about week 16 shift how you view the entire 9-month journey? Or maybe even just the wonder of life unfolding, seeing it not just as a timeline, but as this continuous, awe-inspiring symphony.
That's a beautiful way to put it. We really hope this deep dive has given you a fresh, informed perspective on this remarkable stage. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning.
And keep asking those deep questions.